Hey everybody, this is Seth from Coming Out Tarot. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, welcome. It's Sunday, so I'm here to chat about blog post that's coming out tomorrow on Monday. Hey Brianne, I want to focus on focus. I want to focus on focus. I want to talk about strengthening your focus and conquering dreams. Hey, so on this journey towards self-improvement, this journey towards excellence that we've been talking about since January, we've been focusing a lot on all the things you need to review about yourself, your life, the things around you, all the review of the state of things around you. We're now moving into this planning phase. So once you've got a library of or an understanding of who you are, where you want to go, what challenges you present to yourself, and you can start thinking about overcoming those, then it's time to actually get into planning. Now, planning takes action. That's the hard part. You have to be ready to take action. And I think that it's not easy for everyone to think in actionable terms. Like my brain thinks in actionable terms. When I do tarot readings for people, I sit down and I confirm where you are today, and then I give you the steps you need to achieve your goals tomorrow or next week or the next day, whatever it is. So my effort is to give you what you need to do in order to move forward, in order to be better than you were when we first met. I don't want you to be stagnant after a tarot reading. After a tarot reading, you should be energized and ready to go. And that's just part of who I am, how I like to do my readings, how I like to encourage other people to be better than they are when we first met. So the reason I bring this up is there's a lot to think about around planning, so I'm going to go through some of that. What made me think about this was I was digging around on Twitter the other day, as we're wont to do, some of us are anyway, and I came across this quote by this, I'm assuming, young woman who said that a friend of hers was introducing her 4-year-old, her friend's daughter, to tarot. Hey, Seeking. And she thought that this was completely the wrong choice for this child, and that it was would have been better if her friend had put a Bible in her 4-year-old child's hands than tarot, and expecting her to understand the world through the eyes of tarot. And my immediate reaction was, well, who the fuck are you? And why do you think you should tell your friend how to raise her daughter? But then what was more important to me, what was more interesting to me, is that she actually had a solution to the problem that was in front of her. So while it may have been narrow-minded, she had a solution. And I responded and said, well, what if you took this further? Because the tarot, depending on which one you look at, but Rider-Waite in general, and almost any tarot deck, is based in a lot of religious iconography. There's archangels, there are pictures of the heavens, the hands that come through on the aces are all supposed to be the hand of God. There is so much, the lover's card is like an Adam and Eve, there's a devil card. There's so much religious iconography in the tarot that I said, well, why doesn't she expose her daughter to not only the tarot, but the Bible, and then other world religions, so she gets this well-rounded view of what it is that she's looking at when she looks at the tarot, and just generally, she isn't limited to one person's point of view. And I got a very terse response, as you can expect, that there pretty much are no other religious views, and she had shut that whole thing down. So I'm like, okay, well, in either case, she still had a solution to the problem, whether or not it was narrow-minded. And I thought that was interesting. I thought her clarity of vision about what her friend's daughter needed was the strength of action, whether or not the content may have been the right course of action. At least there was action. And that means that child is going to learn something. That child is going to be exposed to not only her own mother's worldview, but her mother's friend's worldview of religion. And so she'll still have this this expansive view that she can choose to take further. But I imagine that for some people, having that clarity of focus, like if this is what's going on, this is what needs to happen next, is not as easy as it is for some of us, like myself. So I imagine that you're kind of feeling all over the place and like the world's a little bit crazy and you have no idea where to focus. And if that's where you are, you might really prefer to be feeling like you're constructive and you're doing something, or you've released some toxic behavior, which we've talked about in a past scope, like complaining. When you complain, you're not actually doing anything, you're just complaining, nothing's actually happening, but it replaces doing something for some people. Because it feels like you're doing something because you're complaining, but you're not actually taking any movement forward. So you may want to feel like you've released that. Hey, Jamie, you may also want to feel like you can get out of your own way and actually start moving forward. And there's so much that goes into what's actually in our way, especially for ourselves. I talked about that in the most recent post about what's in our way. What's going on, Jamie? And then you may also want to feel like it's causing you to complain instead of taking action. And so there's different ways to do that, especially if you're coming to a tarot reader. We can talk about what you think the toxic behaviors might be, or the repeated behaviors that you do that are holding you back. We can talk about what may be the source of complaint and how you can better manage that source of complaint instead of actually just complaining about it. So you get to that point of learning, how do you get out of your own way? Well, sure, Jamie, what's your question? So when you're getting those things, when you get those things of being constructive, of releasing toxic behavior, of getting out of your own way and knowing what it's like to take action instead of complain, there's a trade-off for those things, because planning is a lot of work for some people. For seemingly very little result, because you can plan and plan and plan and plan and you can get stuck there, or you can plan and plan and plan and plan and then one thing happens but it's not what you wanted in the first place because maybe you didn't plan the right way. You can plan for seemingly little result. What's missing, and the reason you might be having little result instead of all of the results you want, is the accountability factor. The accountability factor is something I can't stress enough. Jamie, should I stay in Blackshear, Georgia, or move back to Savannah, Georgia? I don't know. Why are you thinking about moving? And if you're looking for a reading, I do those via donation, and I'm not actually doing them right now. So you're welcome to purchase a reading over at comingoutarot.com/shop if you're interested. So that trade-off is knowing that planning can be a lot of work for a little bit of result. And the accountability factor, like I was just saying, is what's most important. So how do you get that? Accountability can come in a lot of different ways. One, you can go after accountability from your group of friends, tell them what you're doing, tell them what you're trying to achieve, and they will continue to ask you about it. Did you get it? How far did you get? Are you still working on that thing? Or, there'll be little entrees into what it is you're trying to achieve, and that'll help you stay accountable because you'll have something to share with people. You can also reach out to life coaches. If life coaches are important to you, you can reach out to someone like me, where we can do a tarot reading, get you more insight, more actionable advice, and then add on the project plan on top of that, because I'm a project manager as well. It's part of what I do. And if you're interested in that kind of service, I have that available. I'm not going to dwell on that right now. So moving forward, the first thing you want to do, besides making sure you have some accountability, is ensuring that you get out of your own way. Because it's really hard to get out of your own way. So what you need to do, this is your coming out moment. This is when you come out as a complainer. Because if you're a complainer and not actually doing anything, then you're not going to move forward in that space of clear focus, next step action, and then achieving your goals. So how do you get out of your own way? How do you know you're in your own way? A couple things you might hear yourself saying, especially around jobs. when you're in your place of employment, you might hear yourself or others saying that you blame your employer for your lack of advancement. Well, they never give me the opportunity to try something new, or there are no opportunities for me to advance because all those old people never leave, and they're always promoting other people but not me. Or I don't get enough training, so of course it would never work out that I could be better at my job. My job never gives me the training I want. So is everything wrong in your life somebody else's fault, or is it actually your own? Because you can do all of those things on your own. Because my LGBT family is there and everything I love is there. My mom moved us to Blackshear. I think you should move where you believe that you'll be the most happy. I did the same thing. My family is all in Oregon. I knew that I needed to move to Chicago, and so I moved to Chicago. It was where I needed to be in order to move my life forward, and so I made that choice. Similar to moving forward on having the right focus, you have the opportunity to do what's best for you. So is it your mom's challenge that she moved you somewhere and you feel like your life is somewhere else? No. It's your challenge to make the decision, would I like to be there? And if I would like to be there, based on everything I know, what are the steps it takes me to get there? And then line those up and get there. So if you want to be there, get there. If you want that job advancement, opportunity, promotion, whatever it is, all you got to do is step up and do what you got to do to get there. It may not be in the way that you expect, like in the role that you're in today or in the office that you're in today, but you can make things happen for yourself. How does this all drop into tarot? Tarot can help you understand what that advancement might look like, or what that opportunity could be if you're not thinking about it today, or how you might be able to actually access and develop and make that move occur. She thought it would be safer here than living there. Are you over 18? Mothers are always going to do what they think is best for their family. At least I think any mother worth their salt is always going to do what's best for their family. If you're over 18, you've got the opportunity to make your own choices and do what you think is best for you. If you're under 18, you're still under her guardianship unless she emancipates you or you emancipate yourself through the court system. So if you're over 18, you can do whatever you think is best for your own person. And then just figure out how to do it. I find that some people throw in that money is one of the biggest challenges for them to move on to something new. Hey, Jenny Lynn. And I feel like if you feel like you don't have access to the money you need to accomplish something, there's a couple different avenues you can go. One, you bust ass save and then do whatever it is you got to do. Two, what's the free version of what you want? If training is something you need in order to find advancement in your job or to move forward, what's going on, Jenny? Or to move forward in the opportunities that are available to you, but you feel like somebody else owes you that training, you're not going to get what you want. You can always go out and get the training you believe you need, though, and you can get it without money. If you're near a library, you got more training than you ever thought possible. If you're online, you've got more training than you ever thought possible. All you got to do is seek out what you want to read and focus it into what you need to know. So money doesn't always have to be an issue. Time then becomes the issue because free always takes more time than paid. So you just need to manage and regulate your time in order to offset what may be a financial implication. Some other people might say, you know what, this isn't me. I am just not a take the reins kind of person. I am not the kind of person that takes charge of my life and moves it forward. Well, there's a couple different ways to think about that. One, check out my post on changing your identity, because you can shift and change how you approach your world and your life. It's just how badly do you want it, and then how do you take the steps to do that? And that post talks about that. The other thing that I didn't talk about there, surround yourself with people who are already doing what you want to do and already have the skills that you want to have. If you can surround yourself with those people, not only are you going to pick up what they've already learned to do, because they're going to have tips and tricks for days, but you're going to start to hold yourself accountable to the same things they do. And when you hold yourself accountable, you're going to grow and achieve more than if you hadn't been around those people in the first place. And they're going to hold you to a higher standard, which is going to make you, again, want to achieve more than you have before. So if you think that being focused and achieving your dreams is something that is a challenge for you and something you can't do, surround yourself with people who are doing that. I'm starting to do that myself. I'm surrounding myself with people that I haven't been around in a long time, who are achieving, who are moving forward, who are doing something. I've got one more person I need to reach out to, and I'm really nervous about it, only because actually, there's no good reason. There is no good reason. It's my own fear that I haven't reached out. So we just got to get past our own fear and reach out and see what happens. Because what's the worst that can happen? Someone can say, no, I don't want to be around you. Okay, well, I got a whole host of other people who do. So their loss, not mine. If we get in that situation, who even knows? So the this isn't me thing, you can work on that. I guarantee you. So ultimately, that gets you to if you never think this is going to work out, it won't. Whatever it is that you're trying to achieve on your journey to excellence, on your self-improvement journey, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, if you think it's not going to work, it won't, because you're not going to move in the direction you want to move in. You're not going to make the choices you need to make to be successful. So one way that you can get started, if you're just not sure where to go and your brain's still all over the place, but your body's telling you got something you need to do, that's a great time to get a tarot reading. I was talking in another scope about this, that when you're in that position, in fact, Brianna, I think it was you, when you're in that position of, I just don't know where to focus or what to ask or what to do, but I know it's time for me to be doing something, then go get that tarot reading. Find a reader that best suits you. I've got a post on that too. You can go find out more about how to choose the best tarot reader for you over at comingoutarot.com. Tarot readings will get you past that point of feeling stuck. You can just lay it out for the tarot reader. This is where I am. This is what I feel like. This is where I think I want to be. How do I make an amalgamation of all this stuff? How do I get the through line and the thread of all these things that are going on in my life? And how do I move it forward? What's the next step for me? And that tarot reading is going to give you some insight, some ideas. It's going to confirm some things for you may not have ever confirmed. It's going to make you feel like either you're on the right track or what kind of pivot you need to do in order to get on the right track. And I think that it's important to say that you don't always need to do the tarot reading. Like if you aren't in that space of I don't know what to do, but you feel like you really know what you need to do, just go do it. Just do it and see what the response is. Measure the experience, measure the response. You're the solution, not the problem, unless you're the problem and not the solution. So just go do it if you know what you need to do. If you're not quite sure where you are, where you need to be, or what you need to try next, that's a great time to sit down with a tarot reader and explain, I need some more information. And if you've been to a tarot reader already and there's one that you vibe with, like if we've done readings together, then let's sit down and do that reading. Let's get that unknown onto the table for you so that it is clarified, so that you don't sit in that space of, hey, Cody, you don't sit in that space of like you're constantly stuck. Because you're not stuck, you just don't have enough information. So let's do that tarot reading and get you some more information. Doing well, how are you? So one of the traps that I've noticed for people, one of the final things I'll say that is a trap around trying to move yourself forward and understand better where you're going on your self-improvement journey is thinking you don't need support. We all need support. We all need help. We all need someone who can validate our choices, who can push us through when we're struggling and say, you know what, you are fucking good at whatever it is you do. Keep doing what you do because you're growing, and growing is hard, and growing is change, and change is challenging. So growth is challenging. all that circle. and you need a posse around you to like make sure it's going to be cool. And not only that, just like I was talking about before, that group is going to help hold you accountable. And that accountability is just as strong as the people who are going to support you and help you follow up. So it gives you a little bit of pressure and a little bit of cushion, and next thing you know, you're further ahead than you thought you were when you look back over the last year, for example. Now, I am awesome at being one or both of those things. When you're not quite sure what's going on and you need a little more information and you need someone to hold you accountable, that's part of what I do. When you need someone who can help give you that little bit of push and keep encouraging you based on the kind of relationship we have, I can get you there. I can help push, and I'm gonna push you through actionable advice, and I'm gonna push you through holding you accountable. So the fluffy fairy stuff, or the things that make you like, oh, you're doing such a great job. I'm going to tell you you're doing a good job if you're doing a good job. And I'm going to tell you you're doing a good job if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So that kind of status check-in, that's where I can help move you forward. So I'm going to help you excel and be nice about it. That's the way that it's going. That's the way I work. So I just want you to know that if you're focusing on achieving your dreams, now's the time to do it. Get started. Don't wait anymore. When you decide to create excellence in your life, you're going to know if you should move for that job because you're ready. You're going to know that you can deal with, you're going to deal with challenging relationships in your life with ease and with less stress because you're going to have something to focus on instead of the overwhelm of, well, how do I deal with this person? Or should I even do this? You're going to have some more insight, some more information, and things to do and focus on instead of the unknown, which is way better than focusing on the unknown because that just gets everybody worked up. So please join me on this excellence journey. I'm going through it myself. Everything that I'm sharing with you is something I'm experiencing right now. And I want to make sure that I'm there for you as much as you're there for me. So let's do this together. We got it. It's like in, what is that? In The Wiz. We got it. Together we do. So let's do it. Join that excellence journey. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you're not signed up for Mindfulness Monday, make sure you are so you get that mindfulness in your inbox. And definitely sign up for the excellence journey because you're going to get this kind of stuff in your inbox too. I'm having a problem with iTunes right now, but you can find it on Stitcher for sure. And on my website at the very, very bottom, there's a little iPod or a little podcast symbol, the icon. That's what I mean, podcast icon. Go click on that down there and it'll take you to anchor.fm. But iTunes thinks that I don't have anyway, it's geeky, techy stuff. I don't have the right headers for some reason, even though I do. So I don't know what they're doing. But you can definitely find it on Stitcher, and you can find it on anchor.fm, and that little post will take you to the Anchor app as well. Everybody, have a great weekend. I'll see you all later.